All right, let's give a round of applause for Bert. Yay! Ah, wasn't that awesome? I never saw him. He started out with a few hoops. Eventually, now he's in full regalia. There to go. Right on, Bert. Man, makes me feel proud. So with that, I want to thank you guys very much. Let's give Iron Swing a round of applause. One of our top drums in North America. These boys, my brothers, have been it's true, they've been singing for many, many years. And when we got started for Paspas Peak Singers years ago, it was these boys that helped us out. So I love them for that. So with that, we'll have the mic back over to Uncle.
And Gerald, thank you very much. Now we're going to ask Mr. Glenn to do a demonstration of the back arena. That's been exciting, Glenn. Picking up Glenn here all afternoon. Anyways, I'm going to ask one of our resident chiefs to come on up here and say a few words. I know she's just arrived here late to. I know she's eating. I'm rushing her already, so I apologize, but I'm going to call up Chief Tammy Cook here to say a few words, please. Chief Cook. And welcome. We have a guest here too. We have from Chickadee, we have Angie Morasti visiting us. Here at Chief Cook's here, sir. Hi.
Good afternoon. It's a real honor to be here on the Montreal in Montreal Lake. And I also want to acknowledge your losses recently. Shirley Henderson, our Women's Commission member, I want to offer my condolences to Senator. She was a huge part of our organizations, the BEBG, and I know you've also had other losses here in the community, so I want to acknowledge the losses that you've had. I just recently lost my mom a month ago, so it's hard to lose your rock, the family that keeps families together. So just want to acknowledge that. I want to thank Chief Joyce and your council for putting on the celebration for Treaty 6. And I understand the students were up here doing the treaty enactment. And that was so nice, and having the dinner and all the dignitaries here, the last one. And I apologize, I double booked myself today. And this morning I had a meeting with Dr. Mendez, he's the head surgeon for the University of Saskatchewan, and he's also working on doing virtual health, which means bringing like ultrasounds, x-rays, right to the community so we don't have to travel as much. So they were demonstrating that, and it's something that we want to bring to the lodge and Stanley Mission and other. So we're going to be meeting with him and our council, and they'll do a demonstration. So I didn't want to. He already had it set up, and then so I asked Councillor Devin to be here. So thank you so much, Councillor, for being here. And thank you. And we have band members here too. We have Elder Abel. Donna's here, and we have Taryn, who's one of our. He does all the research for Treaty 6 adhesion, and then we also have Hope and Sam that are also always doing research. And I don't recognize everybody. My glasses are sorry. Okay, but anyway, I'm really happy to be here. And treaties are so important. When we sign treaties, we call them Kipahamakuin, and I was thinking about Montreal Lake. It's because we couldn't say it's actually Montreal, because we say when we say Montreal, we're referring to a Caucasian person. And then we also had Montreal, we had Mistewosho, which means Mistewosho is the person that comes from the wooden boat. And Montreal is from Montreal, must be from the east side, maybe the other side, how the history goes. But there's a lot of history, and treaties are so important for us to acknowledge where we come from. and the strength and what our forefathers saw. And the treaty, I know there's probably a lot of people that talk about treaties and, you know, the sign, it says, as long as the sun shines, it's full peace if it's a hash. The grass grows, yung biging maskusyan, diba? And the rivers flow, kasumian, if it's wakin. You know, that's what they understood, and they understood that to be like forever. That the treaties was a partnership. And the enactment, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I've read some history too, and I've learned history over the years. I've been with the band for almost 30 years now. So I've had that honor to be able to work for our communities that long and to learn the histories and to learn from our elders. I was thinking, even Senator Alton Bird, I worked with him when I was a counselor, and I worked with him when I was chief. I worked with Senator Miles Ben. I had a chance to work with him to see him in action meetings. And they always had really wise counsel and wise advice. I remember Senator Allen, even like the former chiefs from Montreal, like PBCN, Laurent Band, you know, just having that leadership with the elders. I used to travel with elders. Well, I used to travel with Elder Charles, Elder Elizabeth Charles from Stanley, Michigan, share hotel rooms with them, and just travel with them. And that's how you learn. You start to learn that way. And I remember Senator Allen Bird said to me, he said, whenever that love, that you don't be, like wherever you're invited, be there as much as you can. Like even if you get invited overseas or wherever, if you get invited places, just take that opportunity and just go. And then even Senator Miles Ben, late Senator Miles Ben, I sat with him on many meetings, and sometimes we would take long debating on an issue, like Gilusman and me. You know, sometimes you can talk on one issue for hours and hours, and sometimes you would just like hit the table and say, make up your mind. Just get on, like maybe just move on because there's so many other issues to talk about. But he was also very kind. I got to visit him, and he always used to say, "Kada paginoy pero each." You know, it just like always make sure that people have enough food. That's what he told me. You know, that was one of the things that really stuck with me. Just to always make sure that there's food security, and if people ask you to help them, to find a way to help them. And just, you know, there's always things that you learn from past leaders and, you know, the current leadership and the new leadership. I learned a lot from them too, like Councillor Devin, we have 12 councillors from Laurent Band. Like in Grandmother's Day, we have Councillor Gerald McKenzie. And then in Stanley Mission, we have 3 councillors there. We have Councillor Linda Charles, Councillor Janine Charles, Councillor Robin McKenzie. And in Second River, we have Councillor Devin Bernatches. And in Laurent, we have 4 councillors there. We have Councillor Anne Rad, Councillor Sam Roberts, Councillor Charlene Lenny, and we have Councillor Dean Roberts. And in Hall Lake, we have Councillor Norman Ross. And in Little Red here just past it, we have 2 councillors there. They've been there for a long time. We have Councillor John Whitehelp, Councillor Keith Morassi. So those are our councillors. And part of our council, do we have council of elders? So each of our councillors appoint council of elders. So we always have that guidance in our meetings. We also have Senator Cook that's been with us, former chief. So we have a lot of issues on our tables. We see just to remind us to always remember who we serve, and we do the best of our ability to serve our community members. And I also want to acknowledge there's a little boy here. Oh, there he is. He looks like my late son. My son drowned when he was 2 years old, and my son was blonde and had brown eyes, and I just my little angel. Yeah, so every time I come, I just give him a big hug, and he's just like he knows. So it's really special to be here. And thank you so much for. As soon as I came in here, I had Andy, the principal, Johnson. They just came and met me, and just felt welcome. there was one guy, I don't know his name, and I said, well, better late than never. He said, Chief's motto, he said. Thank you so much, and thank you for honoring the treaties. I know the Office of the Treaty Commissions here do it too, and they do a lot of work. So thank you for that, doing that important work and making sure that we have to keep doing this. And I know that when we came here, the councillors and councillor elders said, well, we need to do this in La Ronge too, but I was thinking maybe we could move it around like we do with the woodland regatherings, because we should always be together because we signed our treaties together. You know, Chief William Charles and Chief James Roberts, they signed a treaty on February 11, 1889. And they didn't sign it, but yeah, like, you know, they took their time. They didn't, and the interpreter was actually the archdeacon at that time. And modesty, like they didn't they didn't take it lightly because they knew it was something that would impact us into the future. And they also wanted to make sure that we were still hunting, fishing, and trapping, and to speak our language. So as hard as you can, try to teach our kids our way of life, living off the land, the hunting, the fishing, trapping, and the respect for the fish and the animals and everything. We always have to give an offering on the back. You know, we always say a prayer and we give an offering. We say thank you for this food. And we go shifting with the new stuff. I know you've been kind of long day and I just ready to go. Looking forward to jigging. I know Chief Joyce and I are deadly jiggers. So I'll be jigging. And I think Councillor David can bust a move. Elvis can do. But thank you so much. Thank you for honoring the treaties. Just to understanding, you know, and we have one of the biggest themes that's coming up pretty soon. I know it's always on top of mind is the treaty sinks agricultural was part of our treaty. And then we also call it cows and cows. It's something that we're continuing to work on for us. We're at a stage where we're waiting. So once we have a formal offer from the federal government, we can move from there. But hopefully by the end of next year, we'll have some work. Yeah. We're moving, and I don't know where yours is at, Chief Joyce. But thank you so much. And also, I was thinking about, you know, that virtual health hub. I think it's going to be big, so they're going to build a virtual health at Dakota at Whitecap. So it's all conceptual right now, but they've done a lot of work. But I know they already do work in Pelican. So they're Pelican Arrows. You can go there and get an ultrasound, and then they can do an ultrasound, and that doctor could be in Saskatoon or a specialist, and it's like real time. They even have X-ray machines. Like that X-ray machine is virtual, so they can do an X-ray. Did an X-ray on my hand this morning. But they can do that X-ray. It's not as like they can do it, and then they can send that X-ray down. So they can even do check your arteries, check your heart, ECG. They can do that virtual. They can send those results out right away. They can check your creatinine levels, like your kidneys. So it's really amazing stuff. So I know Chief Joyce will be interested in learning more about that, bringing it to Montreal Lake, because that's what this Dr. Mendez wants to do. And that's part of our treaty right to health, you know, because that's part of our medicine chest, medicine clause. My question, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more time. But thank you for this opportunity in the national level. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I'm gonna go back to school, become a doctor. Never too late. That's one of my that's maybe took me out with that. So next we have the jiggers. So I don't think Mike and I'm gonna do a fiddle jigging song, so we better I have music for it. Microphone here.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Here's our basically Division One jiggers that we just got together. Some of them are just learning how, and I've been working with them for about 2 weeks with their jigging, and they also have a special dance that they're gonna do right after their jigging. So, and then we have some older ones that just asked me today if they could jig, and I said, of course. So please welcome our jiggers. Thank you. That's correct. You can follow up.
We almost got you going there, right?
I liked it. They're so balls.
You're going for the study. Hey, what did you do that? Oh, sure. Wow.
Lots of work. Okay, so these little guys are going to go out to the crowd and they're one person to do this heel toe polka with them. So go. Find your partner, your cook 'em, your wish 'em, your mom, your dad.
Burning.
And you can just dance around in the furniture, that's fine. Kendra, it's
You're trying to convince him to.
mom's over here. So you guys can get that to the right.
Oh, dear.
You guys can dance, some of you can dance in the furniture, and anyone else who wants to do heel toe polka, get up, don't be shy.
That's for the fair.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good.
Get up and encourage these little ones. Okay. When everybody's set to go. Okay, there's lots of room down here. If any of you want to go down here, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna count to three. On the count of three, we're gonna be ready to go. So one, listo, listo. Woo, good job. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Good job to all the dancers.
Yeah. All right, yeah, we're gonna get ready to keep down the flags. Singers will be ready. But once we dance out the Eagle stuff, that'll conclude our day. So I want to come to Joyce, see, and as well as Chief Cook Searson, come on this way. And come on here, please. Joyce Salawa. Here you are. Tammy